back to school season is rapidly approaching. I am filming this mid-August in so-called Canada, and I have been thinking about all the lovely teachers in my life who are heading back to school in just a couple weeks, maybe even a week, depending what your schedule is. And I know sometimes that there can be a little bit of dread heading back to school, heading back to the classroom, because we have been having such a spacious, I hope you've been having such a spacious summer time. I certainly have been having a very spacious summer filled with lots of beach days and lots of swimming. And I think it is so important for us to have that time to rest and rejuvenate and relax and recenter ourselves. But I also know that there's, sometimes that trepidation as we are heading back into maybe a busier time. And the trepidation can be, good and exciting, all about, what's going to come this year, which is really great. But also a little bit of the like, okay, I need to prep my nervous system again. If you're a teacher, I need to prep my nervous system for the classroom and being able to manage the beautiful little personalities and nervous systems and needs of 30-person energetic classroom. And so I wanted to record a really short video today. My name is Emily Gibson. I am a trauma-informed practice and well-being educator, and I help people create the lives of their dreams. And I help organizations and schools and communities increase their impact through creating interactions and environments where people can really engage. And so for me, well-being and trauma-informed practice are absolutely intertwined when we think about the classroom. And if I could share one thing with you as you head back into the school year and you're imagining, what you want your classroom vibe to be, what you want to focus on this year, what your student needs are, is take your students on your well-being journey with you. And it might sound a bit crazy and you're like, oh no, I don't even know what that means. When I was diving into my well-being journey deeply, like when I was, a well-being newbie, I don't even know if I set the intention for this. Well, I guess I did because it happened. But I decided to take my team along with me. I wasn't in a management role at the time, but I felt so comfortable to be able to share this journey with my teammates and help them experience it with me, because in turn, that made it easier for me. And it's not all about me. I'm not saying to do this all about you, because there's such a beautiful ripple effect. But I also think when we're thinking about how to support our well-being, we've absolutely got to think about the ways in which we can make it easier for ourselves. So when I say bring your classroom along with you, bring your students along with you, is that you could start off the year and say, hey, one of my hopes for this year, this school year, this set amount of time that we get to spend every day together in, is that we get to know ourselves a little bit better. And I think one of the best ways to teach is to model. And so you can share that, you've been learning about your nervous system. You've been learning about how to notice when your body is stressed, how to notice if you are in a fight, flight, or freeze stress response, and then how to discharge and complete that stress response when you no longer need it, when you aren't under threat. And that you can offer this insight and these tools and this awareness to your students as you're practicing it yourself. You can be teaching your students how to learn about their nervous system, how to collaborate with their nervous system, how to pick the cues up on when they are activated, when their nervous system is saying it doesn't feel safe. And then you can do the beautiful work of helping them realize, okay, what was that trigger? What did I need in that moment? What made me not feel safe? When I feel that trigger again, what can I gravitate to instead that is a healthy expression that can help me feel centered and grounded in this moment, rather than potentially, disrupt the student beside me or create some sort of um, chaotic energy or disruption in the classroom. So I the reason that I also say that this will make your life easier is obviously because part of your job as a teacher is behavior management. And it's about creating an environment in which you can teach those beautiful little minds to be their own self-sufficient thought leaders and become, experts and dreamers and whatever it is that they want to be. We can't achieve our dreams without having a grasp on how to care for our full self. That might be a bit of a hot take. I don't think it is. But we cannot reach, incredible success, whatever that might look like, unless we are able to hold it within our nervous system, unless we are able to have healthy communicative relationships with ourselves and with others. And to me, all that is a byproduct of well-being. It's a byproduct of being able to tend to our body, mind, and spirit and emotions. Okay, I'm getting a little bit off track, but I wanted to bring it back again to the point that take your students on your well-being journey with you. Teach them about their nervous system. Teach them about what stress responses are and how they show up in their body. Help them create beautiful, articulated pictures and art of what it feels like in their body when they're stressed, how they notice when they're activated. And then help them build really beautiful little toolkits for, okay, this is what I can reach for. This is what I can do when I'm feeling that activation. And share with them yours. And share with them when you feel like you're getting activated. This isn't a weakness, because I know at this point in time, you will be able to engage your observer self to say, okay, I am getting activated. I need to come back to my center. And you can say that out loud to your kids to be like, hold on, I need to take a moment. I'm noticing that I'm feeling trembling, or that I'm, clenching my fists at my side, or I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling like I want to flee, whatever it is. Say to your students, hey, I notice this happening within myself. I'm going to need to take a moment to come back to my center. And this is what I'm going to do. And you know what you can do in that moment. Is it a mindfulness activity, feeling your feet on the ground? Is it that you missed your snacks? You're going to have something to regulate your blood sugar? Is it a quick little tap it out? Is it grabbing a piece of paper and drawing? These are all things that can be worked into the classroom. And with them being on board with your well-being journey, and then also the students working on their well-being journey, it will make for more peaceful interactions. It will make for a more present and engaged classroom. Because a classroom, the students cannot effectively learn if their body is telling them that they are under threat. The goal is present and engaged, and that might require present and engaged moments many times throughout the day. And if you've seen my regulation practices in the classroom playlist, this is a good one to see, to be able to structure these throughout your day. And again, you might be thinking like, oh, this feels overwhelming. It feels like I don't have time for this. In my business, I used to push myself nonstop. I would, push off lunch until my blood sugar is completely plummeted and would take me all afternoon to recover. I would not go to the bathroom when I had to go to the bathroom because I'm like, I want to just do this one more thing. I noticed when I was pushing myself in that pattern that I actually wasn't receiving. I wasn't hearing back from prospective clients. I wasn't making sales. I wasn't able to, tap into my creativity to create really good engagements and presentations. So, when we actually take a moment and build in opportunities to slow down in our day, to get off the hamster wheel, to become present and engaged with the needs of our mind, body, spirit, and emotions, that's when everything starts working easier. That's when I started to receive new clients, when I started to make more money in my business, hear back from proposals. That is when your kids are going to engage and retain the information that you're sharing with them. It's when they're going to be able to craft those deeper learning experiences for them. So it is building them into these super beautiful humans who can help us tackle the world's problems. So that is my suggestion. Now, if you're like, that sounds great, but I have absolutely no idea how to do that, I get it. There's a lot of information online about how to learn about your nervous system. If you have taken my Welcome to Wellbeing workshop, this is the first half we cover because this is the awareness. This is one of the foundational self-awareness pieces we need in order to be able to build. So you may want to check that out or Google, stress responses. But then the other piece, which is not as available online, is what I teach about how to discharge somatically, so using our body, how to complete our stress response when it's no longer needed. And this is so vital for kids in the classroom. And I know you can see this because I can know you can see a kid who's really activated and is just like, oh, when they're like, oh, you cannot then expect all that energy that is bubbling and just like tense and stuck to just dissipate by telling them, okay, sit quietly, we're going to read now. No, we need to use our bodies to give that a place for that energy to do. We need to encourage them to maybe stand up and do 10 jumping jacks, or we need to help them, discharge it by holding up a piece of paper. This is all mindfully and intentionally. You will share with them this is what they are doing, holding up a piece of paper and then punching through it. There are certain ways that we can engage our body to help release that stress response so that we can come back to present and engaged. And also in the present and engage is then when we have the ability to reflect, because we are tapping into our prefrontal cortex and we can debrief with that student. Okay, what there started to make you feel activated? Did you notice yourself becoming activated? What did that feel like in your body? If you're wanting to dive more into that aspect and also receive some gentle practices that you can try out to support your well-being, which are also going to be practices you can share with your students and say, hey, this week, do we want to try this breathing technique? Or do we want to try this way to engage our emotions in a different way? I'm going to be leading a small group of folks through I think it'll be 2-month well-being cohort where we will learn about our nervous system and how to collaborate with it, which includes discharging our stress response, completing that loop. And we will have the opportunity to experiment with different well-being practices to know what really resonates with us and help us to feel present and engaged. So you're not dreading coming to work every day. So you're not necessarily dreading the back to school. So you can feel more resourced and more joyful. And honestly, that you're having a better impact on the kids because you're showing up as your best version of yourself. I honest to goodness just see it as such a win-win for everyone. And I wholeheartedly believe that well-being skills are taught skills. So, as you are teaching and learning about your well-being, bring your kids with you. It's only going to benefit you. So, I'm going to drop the wait list for that below in the comments. If you're like, you know what, I don't know if I'm there. Another thing you can do is join the waitlist for my Lifesaver series. It is a lifesaver. That is why I named it that. But these are short mindfulness practices that you can weave into your daily life and that you can do with your students. They're really beautiful. They're really accessible. You can do them in the classroom. And that's a really accessible offering. It's not live, so you can access it on whatever time zone you're in. So those are a couple of the resources I have, but you're always welcome to reach out. I travel and work with different schools all over if you need a little bit of in-person support, and particularly if your school wants to dive into how to be trauma-informed, which is then showing up even more for students to help them be present and engaged in their learning. Okay, happy back to school.